Hey guys, it's Tarkan back with another video. How about that? So it's almost like I have a YouTube channel or something. So anyway, hi everybody. I hope you're doing well out there. I'm doing fantastic. We've had a day. I don't know if you can see the sunshine peeking through the window a little bit there. We've been getting some sunshine here and there. And around these parts in the Pacific Northwest, we don't get that too often around this time of year. So it's been nice. And I've been getting that, little hits of vitamin D here and there. So I've been getting a lot of things done, running errands and just kind of running around because I seem to have all this energy all of a sudden. So I thought I'd talk to you about something briefly today. I want to let you off the hook a little bit, okay? So what do I mean by that? You can maybe tell from the title of the video. This is going to be about your energy, your vibration, your moods, your emotions, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same stuff anyway, okay? But I want to let you off the hook a little bit today, okay? Because, in this practice, manifesting practice, one of the things that a lot of coaches like me too, and, teachers and books and blogs and videos and whatever it is out there that you're consuming relating to this topic, one of the things they always stress is what? You got to be positive. You got to be positive and optimistic and positive all the time, okay? Now, I'll tell you something. And when I say I'm letting you off the hook, I'm telling you, and I've said this before in another video, I believe, or maybe a couple of videos, it's not necessary for you to feel positive all the time. I mean, really what we're talking about is the majority of your waking hours, which could be 51% of your waking hours. I mean, it could be 50.25% of your waking hours, okay? What you want to do is, of course, is you're creating a trend towards a more optimistic, positive, hopeful kind of outlook, especially regarding your desire, your major desires, okay? But the thing about it is this: if you've been sort of really low about it for the longest time, frustrated, angry, all the icky, disgusting kind of feelings and moods and emotions attached to your desire right now, especially when it comes to manifesting specific people, there's just more resistance, more emotion attached to that stuff than there is to things like manifesting money and objects and things, okay? Because even though people have emotions and resistance attached to that stuff too, but somehow with people, especially with exes, there's this history, if there is history, and then or if you don't have a history with a specific person, you're bringing in your history from, other relationships and mishaps and breakups and rejections and whatever it is else that you're feeling that you've practiced, right? You've practiced your way into it. And that's what this stuff comes down to, is not that you're sort of like, just negative by default or feel low or hopeless about a situation or desperate about it by default. It's that you've practiced your way into it, okay? So one of the major things that I want you to all to just forget right now, trying to go from 0 to 80, overnight, because you think that's the only way that your manifestation, your desire is going to come into being, is if you're just positive all the time and doing cartwheels in the yard, in the park, and, bouncing off the walls and just being all about unicorns and puppy farts all the time, okay? It's not really necessary, all right? So I'm letting you off the hook with that. Here's here's a trick. Here's a thing to remember. Here's something that's gonna probably even make you feel better right away, hopefully, okay? It's enough for you to reach for a feeling of relief, okay? That's it, all right? So I don't want you to try to go from like, I feel like garbage right now, to I better be really on top of being positive all the time, I'm gonna smile at everything. I want you to just reach for relief. That's enough, okay? And this is something that isn't taught so often. And this is a big one that's taught by Abraham Hicks, by the way, because relief is your indication that you've let go of a resistant thought or a resistant feeling in that moment, okay? So when you're catching yourself having sort of negative thoughts, feeling frustrated, desperate, whatever it is, sad, all that icky garbage, okay? It's not necessary to just be reaching for thoughts that make you feel, really optimistic about it. It's just to reach for thoughts that make you feel better. And what feels better, right? Relief, something that brings you a sense of relief. So you're just talking yourself into that state of relief about something, okay? So 90% of the things or 99% of the things or whatever it is that we worry about in regards to any area of our lives, any subject that we're thinking about in any given moment, whatever we're worrying about, most of that stuff doesn't come to pass anyway. Okay, it's just our mind going into like fight or flight mode. All right, it's gotten used to these chemicals that your emotions release. Okay, when your thoughts influence your emotions, which releases these chemicals that your brain becomes addicted to. Okay, so you've practiced yourself into an addiction to negativity and negative thoughts and to worrying and things like that, anxiety. Okay, it's just a habit. So the best way to get rid of a habit is to begin to reach for another habit and start practicing another habit. So negative thinking is a habit, but positive thinking is also a habit. So you just retrain yourself to more positive thinking. So for the purposes of that, though, it's enough to reach for feelings of relief. Okay. You're having some thought, I don't know, let's think of an example. All right. You're having some thought like, maybe what if my person is with somebody else? What if they're dating somebody else? Oh my God, I saw a picture of them with somebody else on social media, whatever it is. All right. Most of the time, and in my experience with working with you guys so far and with my clients especially, is that they'll mention stuff like that, but they don't have any specifics. They don't know for sure that that person is with somebody else, okay? So, I always say to them, well, listen, did you just fill in the gaps there? Did your mind just automatically go to fill in that gap, that knowledge gap of what's really going on there? You just made an assumption that it must be the worst possible outcome, which is that there was somebody else, okay? And even if they are with somebody else, it just doesn't matter, all right? Because you're creating your own reality. You're going to shift yourself to a reality where they are with you. And you do that by tending to your energy, your focus, what you pay attention to, where you decide to place your attention, okay? So for the time being, it's enough, all right? And in the interest of not having this be a huge long-winded video, I really want to try to keep it to this point because, I don't want you to try to overthink this stuff, okay? Because I know that's a tendency of a lot of you out there, same here, all right? How do I go to feeling positive? How do I go to feeling 100% belief in my desire? Well, first you need to get rid of that resistance. If you've got a lot of doubt going on, you need to put that to bed first, okay? And so you reach for thoughts that bring you relief. You just talk yourself into a state of feeling relief, okay? This is kind of a thing where you become your own coach a little bit. All right. So you just kind of, as you go through your day, you check in on yourself frequently. All right. Throughout the course of your day. If you're at work, if you're in school, if you're just alone, if you're with friends, just every now and then, maybe once an hour, once every 2 hours, kind of like make a point of just taking 5 minutes, take some deep breaths and just examine your inner state. How am I feeling right now? Am I feeling anxious? Am I feeling desperate, sad, impatient, frustrated? Am I feeling pretty good? Am I feeling pretty neutral? How am I feeling right now? And what thought did I just have? Or what thing was I just speaking about that contributed to this reaction, this state of being that I have going on right now, this mood I'm in, okay? So that way you can begin to make the connection between your thinking process and your habits of thinking and speaking and looking at things and your emotional reaction to them, your mood reaction to them, all right? And then you can begin to make an adjustment. You can start asking yourself, hey, wait a minute, is this feeling justified right now, all right? This fear or whatever it is I'm feeling, is this justified right now? Most of the time, the logical, real, true answer is going to be no, it's usually not justified. You're just worrying about things because your body, your brain, your mind is used to worrying about things. It wants those chemicals. It wants that next hit, all right? So you start reaching for things, just talk yourself into a state of relief. You know what? Whatever's going on, I don't really have all the information anyway. So whatever I come up with is just conjecture at this point. So I don't really know what's going on. I don't really have proof for this or that, the other thing being having the negative outcome that I anticipate. And you know what? I've been here before. I've turned it around before. I can totally manifest whatever it is I want. I've seen other people do it. I've read success stories. If they're capable of doing it, why shouldn't I be capable of doing it? And every day, each day, I'm paying more attention to my vibration, to my energy, to my focus, to my mood, and I'm making the little adjustments bit by bit. Every day I'm taking baby steps, so I know that day by day I'm getting better at this, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it coming into being. I'm feeling my energy soar. I'm feeling my focus going more and more towards things that I prefer and away from things that I don't prefer. Yeah. So I know, even though it's baby steps right now, I know, even though sometimes I slip back into negative thinking, I know that all I have to do is just reach for a thought that brings me relief. Okay. And that's all it is for now. And that's enough for now. Okay. And even if just you feel that relief for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, okay, milk it for as long as you can. And then go do something that's going to just make you happy, make you feel relaxed. That's fun to do. All right. Easy to do. Think about things that are easy to think about, that are light to think about. Think about your puppy. Think about unicorns, okay? Think about, go have a nice meal, okay? Think about a time when you and your friends, something really stupid and funny happened, that you laughed so hard that you were rolling on the floor and you had to run for the nearest bathroom, okay? Remember those times like they're happening. Sometimes I remember funny things. My friends or people will be around me and they'll think, what is wrong with him? Because I'll just start laughing to myself all of a sudden. Because just in that moment, I'm kind of thinking of something that, I don't know, happened 5 years ago or 10 years ago, or some joke that a friend 15 years ago told me, a funny thing he said that, I'm remembering it like he just told me right now in the moment, and I'm laughing like the first time I heard it, right? So people look at me like, okay, this guy's a little bit off his rocker. Right? And that's okay though, all right? Maybe I am off my rocker, but I'm reaching for things that make me feel better, and I know to do that, all right? So if you want to really be deliberate about this stuff, you need to start tending to your inner kind of being, your inner state of being. That's the way you're going to manifest this, all right? But I'm letting you off the hook today. Like I said, you don't need to go from 0 to 80, all right? Or 0 to 120, okay? You reach for the next best feeling thing that brings you relief, all right? So that way you're climbing that ladder slowly and slowly, bit by bit, step by step. You're climbing that ladder up the emotional guidance scale. You see, up the scale to where you're finally feeling better. So every feeling of relief, every thought that brings you relief, and every time you feel that sense of relief, you're letting go of some resistance in that moment. That's what that relief is, okay? And it's also an indication from your inner being, which is always guiding you, and it's guiding you primarily through your emotions by allowing you to feel certain ways about certain thoughts you're having, certain things you're speaking, okay? Certain things you're doing. It's communicating to you through your feelings, all right? That's how you know whether you're on the right track or not. That's how you know whether you're pointed towards what you want or away from what you want, okay? So if you have a thought like, I'm not worthy, I'm garbage, I'm crap, they're never gonna love me again, you feel awful about it. But pay attention to that, because that feeling of awfulness is guidance from your inner being saying, no, we don't agree with that assessment. You should turn that around right now. So then you turn that thinking around. You just go through a bunch of different thoughts and say different things to yourself until you feel relief, until you... like you just, you've been holding your bladder for like an hour and finally you found a toilet, okay? That feeling, like, that's what you're looking for, because that's the indication, that's your inner being going, good, now you've turned it around. See, we're going to give you this huge sense of relief to indicate to you that now you're pointing in the right direction. Just keep going in that direction now, okay? So you have a guidance system. You have something that's built in. It's time to start learning how to read it. It's time to start paying attention to it, okay? So this is probably one of the most important things that I've probably told you guys so far, okay? Next to everything else, this is probably one of the most important things that you can start to become aware of in your manifesting and in your inner state. And because, this is what manifesting is about, okay? It's about adjusting your tuner to be in tune with what it is that you want. That's what it is, okay? It's not about changing them or it or whatever it is, because you've been doing that your whole life and it hasn't gotten you anywhere, okay? You're trying to change them and cajole them and manipulate them and push them into this and push them into that, okay? And twist this circumstance and twist that circumstance and get that person on your side and argue with them and argue with them. How far has that gotten you or any of us? I mean, take a look at the world. How's that going for humanity? Not very well, right? So how about we start tending to our own vibration right now? You know, that's what a creator does. That's what a deliberate manifester does. He, she starts looking at their own ability to influence their environment, their circumstances, their outcomes, their relationships by tending to themselves, their internal state. That's how it begins. That's where it begins. That's where it all starts, okay? All of creation begins here, all right? So it did end up being a little long-winded, I think. But all right, sometimes I go off on a tangent. But I hope, that gave you guys a little bit of a feeling of relief. You know, when I first learned that concept, I realized, oh, wow, this is great, because I've been trying to feel awesome about everything until now, and it wasn't working too well, okay? So it's enough for you to reach for that feeling of relief. Any thought, any deed, anything that you're saying, that you think of, just keep reaching for it. Keep going through different thoughts, different things you're going to say, even affirmations. You know you have a good affirmation on your hand when it does bring you that feeling of relief, okay? You know, if you're writing down like, oh, we're getting married tomorrow, you know, my SB and I are getting married next month, you're not really believing it. It's not going to feel believable to you. It's not going to feel exciting to you. Maybe it actually feels awful because you're not really believing it. So that's kind of playing into your resistance, all right? But so you reach for different things that you can tell yourself, like, things turn around all the time. Nothing is written in stone. I know reality is just a reflection of my inner state, and I do have control over that. So as soon as I start controlling that, as soon as I start training myself and practicing myself into that, then I know things can turn around. And I've seen it in other people's lives, and I've even seen it in my own life, in different areas of my life. I've seen examples of this, so I know I can do this. And every day that I practice, I'm getting better and better and better, okay? So how does that feel, right? So play with these things, you know, things, because you know your self-talk, the things you say in your head that we don't pay attention to most of the time throughout the day. We just let those things run rampant. We think, oh, it's just some voice in our head. But, you know, those are affirmations, okay? Those are affirmations. So what are you telling yourself, all right? You're telling yourself shit that's just going to make you feel more, more bad, more anxious, more frustrated, more whatever. All right. Or are you reaching for things and telling yourself things that bring you relief? All right. So, the more you practice yourself into that sense of relief, the more you know you're letting go of resistance, the more you know you're pointing yourself in the direction of what you want, or where you want to be in your life and who you want to be. Okay. So I hope that's helped you guys. Looks like, going on 17 minutes. So I always say that it's going to be a short one, and then it never is it? It's because I just can't help myself. I'm wacky. I'm just wacky like that. Okay. So thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, hit the like button, or the dislike button. I don't really care. Share these videos if you want to. All right. Leave a comment if you feel like it. As usual, if you want some coaching with me, the links are down below for that. In the description box, there's also some links where you can leave me a tip for this video, these videos, any videos, if you like the cut of my jib, if you like and value the content, consider throwing $1 my way. I always appreciate it. Okay, guys? So thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Tarkan. Happy manifesting, and bye-bye.